Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be profiling for you a very fun and casual deck, I guess you could say. It's not a really competitive deck by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm going to be profiling for you a Yubel deck. Now, you probably could take this against a couple of your buddies if they don't know what the heck, they've never played against a Yubel deck before, and they pretty much could win. Yubel was in GX, it was, I guess you could say, one of the main protagonists, and eventually became part of Jaden. There's a long story, and I'm not going to go into it here, but pretty much there is a deck you can build centered around Yubel, and this is what that deck is. I had to do some research on the deck, find what other people have played around with, and then I took my own spin on it of the deck and tried to build it a little bit differently, pretty much focusing on getting Yubel out and getting all the different forms of Yubel out onto the field and trying to win with Yubel and just in general win a duel with Yubel, because there's not a lot of support out there, so you have to use a bunch of different ways and mechanics to get a win with Yubel. Really, it's very easy to get Yubel out on the field, but it's a little bit harder to win with Yubel, is what I'm trying to say. So first off, you have two Yubel, regular Yubel. We want one Yubel the Terra Incarnate and one Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare. So I've seen 1,000 different ratios for these Yubels here. I've seen people run 3 of this, 2 of this, 1 of this, 3, 2, 2. I've seen different ratios all through and through. From extensive playtesting, if you guys have been watching me play with this deck on stream, I have found that you just need 2 regular Yubel, 1 Yubel Incarnate, and 1 Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare. So Yubel, pretty much at the end of your turn, you have to tribute off one of your own monsters, otherwise she dies and you don't get her effect off, which sucks. I guess Yubel's a she, but then there's always that it's a he or a she, it's both, I don't know. Long story, but pretty much I'm just going to refer to her as a she. I do apologize if I offend anybody out there that loves Yubel. But pretty much, you have to target your own monster, blow it up. But if your opponent attacks Yubel, then pretty much what happens is they take the damage. Now Yubel, regular Yubel, ranks up into Yubel the Terra Incarnate. Now Yubel the Terra Incarnate is pretty much, if it's Yubel is destroyed by battle or by pretty much by card effect or anything of that matter, if it's destroyed, sent to the graveyard, you can bring out Yubel Terra Incarnate. When Terra Incarnate comes out, same thing as Yubel. If you attack it, you take damage. If your opponent attacks it, they take damage. Second off, during the end phase of your turn, each of your standby, at the end of each of your turns, Yubel blows up the field, the Terra Incarnate. Now, Yubel, the Ultimate Nightmare, is pretty good. Pretty much what Yubel, the Ultimate Nightmare does, I'm going to read it to you, but pretty much she does the same thing. If they attack it, they take the damage. The main thing I really like about it is, though, at the end of the damage shift, if this face-up attack position card battles an opponent's monster, inflict damage equal to that monster's attack to your opponent. Also destroy that monster. So it's kind of like a little bit of a catastrophe effect, which is really nice. So if you attack it, they take the damage. The monster is destroyed during the end of the battle step. So that's really nice there. The good thing about Yubel is it can float in a way. So once you get this out, this can float into this, and this can float into this. This is kind of weaker because then you can't recycle and start off with Yubel again. But beside the point, that is Yubel in a nutshell, and those are the pieces you want to run for Yubel. Sorry, I spent like 2 minutes on that, but I wanted to explain it very well. Next, 2 Dark Grepher and 2 Armageddon Knight. These are for ditching your Yubel pieces to the graveyard, because these 2 right here, Yubel the Nightmare and Yubel the Incarnate, you can bring them back from your graveyard. So they're dead draws. So Grepher, if it's one's in your hand, you can pitch it. Even if the regular Yubel is in your hand, you have things like Call of the Haunted and whatnot you can bring it back with. So you can pitch it to the graveyard through Armageddon Knight or Dark Grepher. Armageddon Knight, say you have a Torrential and a Call of the Haunted. So you can use Armageddon Knight, send Yubel to the graveyard, reborn it on your opponent's turn with Call of the Haunted. If they normal summon a monster or try to break your board, you can Torrential it, which means you can go into this card. So that's the nice thing. Dark Grepher gets out of clunky hands and can set up more pieces in your graveyard so you don't draw into them, and set it up for combo plays later on. So pretty much you want to get these pieces in the graveyard because in your hand they're really not that good. So there you go for that. That's your discarding outlet is two Dark Grepher and two Armageddonite. They are searchable through Rhoda. So that's the good thing there. I'm going to keep referring back to these Yubel pieces over here. Next we run 3 Doom Shaman. So Doom Shaman is a Gemini monster. Very, very old card here. But pretty much Doom Shaman's effect is, as a Gemini monster, you know, to get the effect you have to normal summon it again. But there's an easy way we can do that in this deck. So his Gemini effect is once per turn you can special summon 1 fiend monster from your hand or from either player's graveyard, which is kind of cool. When this card is removed from the field, destroy all fiend type monsters that are special summoned by this effect. So the way you want to use Doom Shaman is you want to go normal summon, you know, get Doom Shaman's effect off so you have a Gemini monster, you know, the Gemini effect. Bring regular Yubel out, okay? And then you can attack over a monster, whatever the case may be. And then on the end phase, when Yubel's effect activates, you're going to target Doom Shaman. Then Doom Shaman's effect will target Yubel, and so they will both destroy each other. And then you can bring out the Ultimate Nightmare, excuse me, not the Ultimate Nightmare, Yubel the Terror Incarnate. So that's how you can get that out, because they're blowing up each other in a way, I guess you could say. I don't know the exact chain links and go into depth here, but I've tried it on Dev Pro. I've asked a judge, how does this work? He had to look up in a ruling online as well as me, because nobody plays Yubel that much meta definingly, so you had to look up some results. But yes, this does work. You bring this out, activate its effect, bring Yubel out, attack, you know, do what you want to do. In phase, Yubel will blow up this will target this, bring out Incarnate. That's all you need to know. If you don't understand the ruling, you can look it up. It is a legit play. So, yep, you have your 3 Doom Shaman. There's a very easy way we can get his effect off. I'll go over that a little bit later. Next up, you have 1 Mystic Tomato. A lot of people love running Mystic Tomato in their Yubel deck. You can ram it into things. You can, if they attack over it, pretty much it helps you get regular Yubel out of the deck. That's all it's there for. But I like Mystic Tomato as a 1-of. Some people run it as a 2-of. That's perfectly fine, but I like it just as a 1-of. But yeah, helps you get Yubel out of the deck. Next, we have 2 Catalyst Field as we go into the spell cards. Catalyst Field is what we use for Doom Shaman here. So what you do is you'll search your Catalyst Field with your Terraforming, which you run 1 of. So you run 2 Catalyst Field and a Terraforming. Catalyst Field is good, but you're mainly using it to normal summon your Doom Shaman and then get Doom Shaman's effect off. So that's pretty much what you're using with Catalyst Field. So if you have these 2 combos on hand and you can send a Yubel to the graveyard or whatever means, you're golden. So you can pretty much get a Yubel Incarnate out. You know that. So you can go, say Yubel's in the graveyard down here. Okay, Catalyst Field to activate, bring out Doom Shaman, bring out Yubel. Okay, attack over something, do what I want to. In phase, Yubel blows up this, Incarnate comes out. It's another way to get Incarnate and just continue the up the ladder of the Yubels. So that is what that is. Catalyst Field, you could run it as a 3-of, but I like that you don't need it really. You're mainly just using it for Doom Shaman. I've tried to find other ways of incorporating more Gemini monsters, but I haven't gotten that far yet. But as of right now, this is just a 2-card combo to get Yubel off, which is Doom Shaman and Catalyst Field. That's all you need. Next up, we have 3-Pod Duality. The deck is fairly clunky and very slow. You are mainly going to special summon on your opponent's turn besides the Doom Shaman play. Okay? So beside the Doom Shaman play, if I have that already in hand, great. Or I can stall out, take a little bit of damage maybe. So just use Pod Duality to look for those little different combo pieces you need. You could say, well, maybe I want to run Pot down to 2-of. That's perfectly fine, but you need a Pod Duality in the deck just to find your different combo pieces and be able to set up for your plays. And you have a lot of traps, so you can search for good traps as well, and traps for just setting up a board where you can win. So 3-Pod Duality. And once you have your board established, you're usually golden. So 3-Pod Duality. Next we run 2 Allure of Darkness. You don't need to run 3. You don't have a lot of targets, and you don't want to banish your Yubel pieces. I will say though, you really need to just rely on 1 Yubel. So if you draw 1 Yubel in your hand and an Allure of Darkness, banish the 1 Yubel. you only need to rely upon one Yubel. Unless they got away, they're going to banish the Yubel from the graveyard. Don't worry about it. Just keep, you only need one to keep your link going. The second Yubel there is just in case you need a Lure of Darkness or a Dark Grepher play or whatever the case may be. It's just helpful to have. But you pretty much can banish one with Lure of Darkness and you'll be golden. That's one of the reasons why I run Yubel as a 2 of. Also, it's just good to have regular Yubel as a 2 of because it can help set up combo plays and whatnot. But 2 Lure of Darkness, if you need to, you can banish one of these. Once you get your board established, your Armageddon Knights can be banished, your Dark Greffers can be banished, your Doom Shaman, if you have too many, can be banished. So it's very just useful to just have a little bit more draw power. And even your Mystic Tomato you can banish if you've already gone through your other Yubels and they're in your graveyard, because Mystic Tomato is dead by that point. So 2 Allure of Darkness. Next we have 2 Twin Twister, clear the back row. Worst case scenario, you pitch these big Yubel pieces to the graveyard, blow up 2 back row. It's perfectly fine. You're getting them in the graveyard, out of your hand, and plussing a little bit in the process. Next we run your 2 Rhoda, your 1 Rhoda, your 1 Upstart, your 1 Foolish, your 1 Dark Hole, your 1 Regeki. So let's go over all these here. Draw power, search power for Armageddon Knight and Dark Grepher. Rhoda is. Dark Hole because if you have regular Yubel or Incarnate out, you can blow it up and go into either, whichever chain you want to. The Ultimate Knight, Yubel. If you have just a regular Yubel, you brought it back with Call of the Haunted. You can be like Dark Hole the Yubel, clear your field out and go with Incarnate up the ladder. Or if you have Incarnate and they have a board you can't really get around, just go Dark Hole, destroy, Incarnate, and go into the Ultimate Nightmare. Regeki, clear the board, just attack with your little monsters if you need to, just clear up their board. And Foolish is to set, this, and this to the graveyard and set up for different combo plays the decks can do. And thin your deck out in the process. So draw power, searching, blowing up, pretty much standard stuff. TT is great in this deck. I wish Torrential was at 2 of, because if you have regular Yubel out or Incarnate out, you can TT your own field, blow up their field, and get the next one up the chain link out. So you can go for this into this, or this into that. So it's very good in the deck, TT is. Torrential Tribute, if you don't know what TT means. But yeah. And then you'll get the effects of your Yubel because it was destroyed. Next you run your Solemn Brigade, my mini Solemn Brigade, because you do take hits, 2 strike and a Solemn Warning. You can run any negation effect and a warning on top of this, you'll be good. Next up we run Triple Call the Haunted and 1 Limit Reverse. Triple Call the Haunted, bring back regular Yubel pretty much. Or I've even brought back Doom Shaman sometimes. So you can bring back Doom Shaman if you sometimes if you wanted to. So either one of these 2 you can bring back with Call of the Haunted. Do different certain plays like bring back Yubel, Torrential, Dark Hole, go back into Incarnate, up the chain of command there. And Doom Shaman, you can do a couple cute little things with Doom Shaman depending upon your field and your setup. And Limit Reverse is like a 4th Call of the Haunted but for Yubel. That's pretty much what Limit Reverse is. It's another Call of the Haunted for Yubel. So, yep, that's for that. I hope this is very clear. Next we have, where the heck is it? Oh yeah, 3 Battle Mania and 2 All Out Attacks. So let's explain these cards here because we got a little bit of time here. These are your ways that you can get your opponent to attack your Yubel cards. So this, and this. These are ways that you can use these cards so they can attack these cards. And you're forcing their hand, so to speak. So I'll read Battle Mania to you. Activate only during your opponent's standby phase. So you have to activate it right away after they're done with their draw phase, when they're in their standby phase. Standby phase 1, mind you. All face-up monsters your opponent controls are changed to attack position. Alright? And can't change their battle position this turn. All monsters your opponent controls must attack if able. So if there's any restriction that doesn't allow it, that's fine. But pretty much they have to attack. they have to attack this Yubel. They must attack Yubel, any of their monsters. So Battle Mania, I love the artwork of Battle Mania, by the way, if you've never looked at it. It's like an anime battle. It looks so cool. But I love it as a holo. But yeah, Battle Mania pretty much forces their hand for them to attack Yubel. All Out Attack is more specifically for special summon monsters because we live in an age where special summoning is very common. So All Out Attack pretty much is like a more modern day Battle Mania. All monsters that are special summoned, so that includes your monsters, by the way, so do keep that in mind. All monsters that are special summoned are changed to face-up attack position and must attack if able during the turn they are special summoned. So that still implies your monsters. So if you special summon Yubel, Yubel does have to attack. So do keep that in mind. But usually it doesn't matter because it's not going to take. You're not going to take damage. They're not going to take damage. It's just an inconclusive battle unless they have Mirror Force. And if they have regular Mirror Force, great. If they have Storming, you cry. Or Quaking. But yeah, these help your opponent make your opponent attack you pretty much. And you have to set it up in a proper order because this deck takes a lot of setup, which is the reason I run 3-power duality. But that is the main deck. Let's go into the extra deck because you do have a lot of rank 4s and you can go into the extra deck if you want to. So sometimes you will be able to do it. But first we run your Utopia package, which is standard for any rank 4 deck. You run your 39, your Utopia Prime, and Utopia S. This sometimes I've won with because you lose a lot of life points in this deck. Your Castell, your 101, your Master Key Beetle, which does come in handy in this deck. I'm telling you, run Master Key Beetle. It does come in handy once you play around with this deck enough times. These are your standard things you will go for. The other stuff I have in this extra deck, besides Gaga Cowboy, I'll put out here because sometimes I've made Cowboy when they're very low in life and won games that way. So definitely run the Cowboy, but these guys right here, this is all you really need right here. This is all you need. But also you can run Diamond Direwolf, your Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, your Daigusto Emerald so you can recycle things. I have done that before. Your 103, because believe me, run this because sometimes you'll find yourself in situations where you've gone through a lot of your resources, so you make that Daigusto and add things back to your deck, like Doom Shaman and whatnot. Number 106 for protection, Abyss Dweller, sometimes you go into. Chronomic Illuminescent Knight I sometimes make, and also Gaga Samurai is another one you can make. But Gaga Samurai gives you protection sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck in a nutshell, guys. It's pretty standard to go for pretty much. But it is a very fun deck to make. It needs more support. If you were to ask me, what does this deck need? It needs a way to make your opponent attack you. It needs like some type of quick play spell that states when this card goes to the graveyard, you can add a Yubel from, I don't know, pretty much you need a way of special summoning the Yubel out from your deck a little bit better. And you need a way of also just a good spell and a trap a trap card that allows you to search like something that makes your opponent attack you, so they take damage. You need something like that, like a field spell. If they had their own field spell, I think the deck would be good. It just needs like 1 or 2 cards and the deck would be decent. But alas, it's just okay. But it's a very fun deck to play with. You could definitely take it to locals and just have some fun with it. But yeah, I'm so happy I was able to build this deck. It was a lot of fun building it. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. I hope you guys all enjoyed this Yubel deck. I know it's very complicated, it's a very combo-oriented deck, but once you play it enough times, you'll start to understand the combo plays. But yeah, till next time, guys, take care, good luck dueling, and I'll see you guys next time, and go Yubel from GX.